Hey there, welcome to the Counter Service Podcast. I'm your host, Brett Jacobson, and this podcast is dedicated to teaching organizations how to learn. If you're with us from last week and you heard the trailer from the new season of the Counter Service Podcast, you know we said goodbye to 2021 and hello there to 2022. I believe the ultimate competitive advantage, the real currency in 2022 is learning. Yeah, that's what I said. I don't know. Does that sound too passive or too soft, or just where are the metrics in all of that? The ultimate competitive advantage for any organization is learning. Learning as much as possible, as quickly as possible, in order to create new ideas. And it's all the learning and all the ideas just happening with one person or a group of people or just a certain executive suite or a particular department within your company. Learning is the ultimate competitive advantage, not by one, but by many. So how do you create a robust learning organization within your company? In the succeeding weeks, we're going to define a learning organization, what that means. What are the component parts to make it a robust learning organization? And we're going to give you so many tools throughout the year that you can use at any moment to vary your routes, to understand that there are many pathways to get to that destination. Because I know you're motivated right now because it's a new year and you have that first quarter goal in front of you, those first quarter priorities. That's important. Maybe your organization just had an unbelievable retreat and you completed that entrepreneurial operating system and you've buttoned up those 2 to 3 year picture. You've revised that. You've created these unbelievable statements that define your 1 year priorities, and you've broken that first batch cycle down in a way that really is going to set you up to go forward. But while we're in 2022 and the newness of this year, and we don't want to ruminate and go back to the dark place of 2021, but I really think you need to think about what are your pain points right now. Because the answer of yes to any of these questions really puts you in a position of thinking about how do I create a learning organization that permeates throughout and not in one particular area. I don't know, is your organization too narrowly focused? You can have buttoned up 1 year priorities and still come out of a retreat saying, I just think our organization is too narrowly focused. Is your organization deplete of transformative ideas? I didn't say of ideas, I just said of transformative ideas. Because this is about the long game, the infinite game, not short-term wins and solutions, repeating of old practices. There are no shortcuts to this. Investing now is greater later, for sure. It's just a missing piece of most companies and most organizations. Is your organization overwhelmed by volume and pace? Understandably so. Are they? Is your organization repeating the same mistakes? I mean, as you meet with a colleague from another industry or someone from another city, are you saying the same things over and over about members of your team, repeating the same mistakes over and over? Or what about, is your organization just lacking inspiration and motivation? It's understandable in the midst of a global pandemic, or even a lack of community and connectedness. Has your organization lost some effectiveness? Have you plateaued in a way that has really been surprising to you? Is your organization struggling with alignment and collaboration? And probably most importantly, as all industries are dealing with right now, is your organization navigating employee attrition? So how do you create a learning organization within your community? I'm excited about you joining me on this journey because we're going to break it down and we're going to equip you in the most incredible way. Because 50 to 100 years from now, does your company organization exist? And if it does, as leaders, as impact players, it requires us to steward this moment, to perpetuate the game regardless who the players are. And so how do we steward this moment? It's about learning as much as possible, as fast as possible, as much throughout the organization as possible in order to create and deploy and even measure a transformative idea. And it's through that idea that just may change the trajectory of your company. So thank you for joining me on this episode of the Counterservers Podcast, and I look forward to having a conversation with you going forward. Thank you.